Intro music coming in.
It helps if I start it.
Welcome, everybody. So nice of you to join us.
On this inaugural podcast evening with the Two Joes podcast.
Memorial Weekend, inaugural Two Joes podcast.
Beautiful sunny day in the Salt Lake Valley. A lot of golfing was done.
A beautiful day. And I golfed also. Did you golf, MoJoe, today?
I golfed. I took my daughter to the driving range, and it was a lot of fun. She got a little frustrated, which concerns me, but she's hanging in there.
Yeah, nice.
We've golfed for a few years now, and she loves driving the golf carts, so I think I'm safe. Until she gets her driver's license, then she's like, why do I want to drive that when I can drive this?
Yeah.
DoJoe, right front and center. I also welcome MoJoe to my right, and I welcome Tall Joe, inaugural podcast for Tall Joe, on my left.
Hey there.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Glad to have you guys
Thanks for
here.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime. I like your voice. It sounds great on the old YouTube radio system.
Yes, where they're published. Everybody, comment down below. But
we're playing radio. We're having fun. Gosh, guys, start up your own podcast. I highly recommend it. We've been doing it for a month and a half now. We did a lot of practice podcasts, and now we're publishing. We're doing it. We're letting people listen to our voices on the World Wide Web.
We're publishing these live. We've done MoJoe and I have done about a dozen podcasts.
Oh, at least
a dozen.
Yep.
Not one of them is published. They're all private. You can't get to it unless you were part of the. But tonight we're going the other direction, dude. We're publishing this, and
absolutely,
it's a cool thing.
It's cool, and we're learning as we go. So let's try and talk into the microphones. About a fist away is what we're doing. Your first podcast tip, all you future podcasters out there. I hope we can inspire you to do this. So MoJoe, help me. I know you pretty well, but DoJoe and Tall Joe are closer to you than they are to me. Help me get to know these two awesome jammers. We have so much fun jamming with them. It's crazy. Help me get to know these awesome dudes.
Well, you already know them in the most important way.
Of course. Jam is the most important thing in the world.
As friends.
As friends, yes.
And I met them at different times in my life. I've known DoJoe many years more than Tall Joe and his wife. It's a strange thing. It means you don't meet everybody who's important to you all at once. It happens throughout your entire life. I met DoJoe when I was 13. We didn't get along until I was about 19.
You knew. Okay, interesting. I want to hear that story, but maybe another time. So since 19, let's say, how about Tall Joe? How old were you when you knew Tall Joe?
Tall Joe and his wife, DoJoe, were only like 10, 11 years ago. And,
10, 11.
Yes,
so I'm the noob. It's only been like 2.5, 3 years for me.
Yes, you are.
Wow. So I'm glad I can get you guys together. They call me MoJoe because I run the board. I spearheaded this little endeavor, and let's see where it goes. So what kind of topics would you guys like to talk about tonight?
I would like to talk about the night, the afternoon or evening I met Tall Joe and his wife, DoJoe.
Sounds like a story I want to hear. Sure.
It was.
Look at these guys sitting on the love seat, looking so cozy. Thumbs up.
Yes.
Love these guys. They're so much fun to jam with. I can't even explain it, so I won't try.
Smiling, and they'll chime in both before this is over. Right. Before this segment's over, they'll both chime in. I know it.
That's how it works.
My neighbor, his youngest boy, infant, was suffering leukemia. And of course would have died and went through the chemo and went through the radiation and the treatments and the hormones and everything. And I met Tall Joe and his wife when he and his wife and neighbors down there were bringing up a little
basket,
a basket on wheels, a wagon full of flowers and things. And when they brought them up to my house, I thought, okay, cool. These look great here, but they were from my neighbor, and they planted them in my neighbor's yard, and
nice.
It was one of the most.
Yeah.
I want to use the word patriotic.
No.
Forgive me.
How about
I want to use the word patriotic.
I like the word quality. Yeah, quality people here. What am I experiencing? What am I viewing? You know, this is awesome.
Quality events. Quality.
Those moments that stick in your.
I met them that night.
That's cool.
I met.
Coming back or what? Did you go up there at the same time and say, "Oh,
no"? They had to pass right by my house.
And so you just happened to be out there.
Yeah, I was out in the front yard.
Yes.
And a cocktail in my hand. I guess I did, didn't I? Did I have a cocktail in my hand that night? I think I did.
So we were out working and putting the flowers in and making everything beautiful, and then all of a sudden I see this guy standing there, and it was a Tuesday evening, by the way.
It was a Tuesday,
and this gentleman,
MoJoe.
I'll get it finally, but he was having a drink, and I go, "Is there alcohol in that drink?"
That was the first words you said to him.
Yeah,
awesome.
Because I could just tell by the way he's drinking it. It's not like.
Did he have his pinky up?
It wasn't a diet. It wasn't a Diet Coke. I was like, I've watched. Especially people of the persuasion that we were doing the flowers for drink a Diet Coke. He wasn't drinking a Diet Coke like that. It was like he was really enjoying that Diet Coke. I said, yeah, it's a Crown. And he just looked at me proudly and said, yeah, it's a Crown and Diet.
Damn straight, bro.
On a Tuesday.
I haven't even introduced myself. I just asked, hey, I just said, hey, what do you...
That cracks me up that was your first interaction. That is awesome, man.
What do you drink? And he goes, Crown and Diet. And I'm like...
Good choice.
Hey, rock on, dude.
Rock on.
I met DoJoe in middle school. When did I meet
13.
DoJoe?
Yeah, middle school.
Yeah.
You guys rumbled. You got in a fight.
No.
Challenged each other.
Never.
Just said, that guy's kind of weird.
Yeah.
We just agreed with you and no. Yeah. You just asked the perfect question. No. Yeah.
Oh, that's classic. Who wants to tell this story? Come on. We got to hear it.
There's really not
I guess there's two stories, right? There's I thought he was weird for like this, and I thought he was weird because of this. I don't know.
He still remains weird. Yeah.
Fun times.
Yep.
All right. We don't have to go there. We don't.
I don't even
what
know
other topic?
there. What
other topics do we want to talk about tonight?
Oh, we have.
What's
several.
on your mind?
We have so many.
What's on your mind? Let's keep it rolling.
Well, let's go to the outer audience. Tall Joe.
Yeah.
DoJoe.
Please use the mic.
Tall
there,
Joe's
MoJoe.
wife. We don't have a name for Tall Joe's wife here.
I thought it was Short Joe or something like that. You guys had discussed this.
What should it be?
So her nickname is actually Sunshine, so she should...
Perfect! We had Jelly Bean and Sunshine.
It doesn't have to be a Joe name. Sunshine works for me, man.
Sun Joe?
Yeah, look at that smile. Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Sunshine works.
Sun Joe.
Let's do it.
Sun Joe is better.
Or Sunshine, while we're in there.
Well, let's see what sticks. We'll throw it at the wall. If it sticks, it's done.
Sun Joe makes the world's best Bloody Mary. I want you guys to know this. Have you had one,
I respect
DoJoe?
that, but
I have not.
I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of Bloody Mary. Sorry, can't do it.
Well,
You will be after...
yeah, give it a try.
I will try it. I have been challenged. I accept. Challenge fucking accepted.
Yeah.
I will try a Bloody Mary. Hopefully like it.
Bloody Marys are usually the next morning, and I'm lucky to have, upright and taking nourishment.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that's truly. I guess that is the whole idea. Wow.
Yeah,
I like eating cold pizza. That kind of works.
Yeah.
That kind of works.
Chocolate donuts and cold milk.
I like throwing shit at the neighbors. There's that.
They don't like it as much as I do.
Oh, are they standing still or are they on a run?
They were at the beginning.
At the beginning? What did you say at the beginning? They were at the beginning?
Yeah.
So when they're still, which one do you pick off first, and then which one's
the weak?
then the remainder, you lead them a little bit while they're running. And
Well, yeah,
pick them off
yeah,
too.
because you get warmed up. Then you don't have to
That's
lead the
sweet.
weak as much, and then when you get a little bit more accurate,
Yeah.
you start picking off the agile, the kids,
Are you
the pets,
Are you side armor or overhand or
both. A
Right
little
on.
Kent to Colby off of the start, and then I'll come in with a little high heat, a little inside music.
give them a little slider, give
Yep.
the one a slider, knock them off their feet.
Yep.
I love you, Mickey. I love you, Mickey. I love you, Mickey. I love
Oh, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
Hello.
Dodge it. You're going to wish you did.
I want to ask a question. Can I ask a
Please.
question?
I don't know where
Yeah.
the fuck this podcast just went.
It went in a good place.
Okay, you guys are having fun. I was a little lost, I'll have to admit.
I want to ask someone here,
Yeah.
someone in the crowd,
Okay.
Tall Joe or Harp Joe. I
Sure.
prefer Harp Joe.
Okay.
Do you mind Harp Joe? Does that work for you?
I like HarpJoe.
Yeah. I want to ask Harp Joe.
Yeah.
How many years did you serve on a destroyer escort?
None.
None. Zero.
0.
I've got it totally wrong again. I totally fucked it up again. I did. I was after the Navy.
I believe the last destroyer escort was decommissioned in the 60s. If I'm not Now, if you asked about a Spruance class destroyer, I served on one of those.
Nice.
Spruance class.
Spruance class. It was like the first class of ship that actually had gas turbine engines on it
No.
instead of a boiler. Or in lieu of a boiler, or, I mean, some ships, it was more practical still to have the boiler, but I actually, I've served on 5 different vessels while I was in the Navy, predominantly submarine tenders. So I was on 3 submarine tenders and a Gator freighter, which is otherwise known as an amphibious assault ship, and a Spruance class destroyer.
So when you're down in a submarine, how long are you in the confines of a sub?
Were you in a sub?
Me personally, about a half hour.
I was going to say,
He
any
just-
longer than that, I'd be climbing the walls.
Yeah.
Really?
So I was when I reported my first ship, I was assigned to a division that actually did maintenance on the ship itself. So,
All right,
I never saw a submarine until like 2 or 3 years into my gig on my first vessel, and that that division got disbanded, so I actually absolved into the electrical repair shop. And the first day in the electrical repair shop, the supervisor sent me to a submarine because there was a lube oil pump that was needed repair.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got on the submarine and climbed down the hatch and actually walked down the passageway back to the engineering space and got to where that pump was.
Could you stand upright?
Well, no, I could not.
No.
Well, he's 6'6" too.
Yes. That's what I was going to say.
And got back to where that lube oil pump was, and I just looked at the engineering supervisor and submarine. I said, I can't get in there. I'm going to have to go get somebody else.
Wow.
So after about, I don't know, a month or 2 of going and getting somebody else, it's like, well, if you can't go down and do it, I guess you'll just have to be the shop supervisor. So I just ended up working in the shop on the ship and was the supervisor, which much to the dismay of people that had actually earned their chops.
Yeah, that's
worked their
rough.
way up because I hadn't even been in the shop, and then all of a sudden I go in the shop, and then I take over the shop, and then the rest is history. Right?
Yeah.
Can we make this even wider about our participation tonight has been exceptional. This is the first time 2 Joes have ever had 5 people in the room. First
True.
time ever. First time ever.
True. This is true.
May we introduce, get to know a little bit the 5th person so far that has not.
If she's amicable about that. She kind of wanted to chill, right?
Let us just say some wonderful complimentary things about
Help us
her.
get to know her.
we know
Absolutely.
Yes.
Tell me a story.
a neighbor. We've been, I consider, dear friends for 10 years now, 11 years, 12 years, however long it's been. She has the most amazing talent with...
a sandwich?
Yeah. Have you had one? Did you have one?
No, but they're legendary.
You've heard about it,
I've
yes.
never had one.
He's never even had one. He's never even had one. And he knows about it.
MoJoe, please use the microphone if you can. I know you get excited. This is a podcast. It's a little bit more than just hanging out.
No, I was getting DoJoe into it. DoJoe.
Right. It's about a fist away.
Yeah.
Speak into it if you can.
Here we go.
There you go. Now,
We should be good now.
There you go. All right.
Thank you. Man, what how long we got now?
Oh, geez. 15 minutes.
Another beautiful segment. I remember
you were helping me get to know Sunshine over here. SunJoe.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know how much.
Keep you on the tracks here. Were you done? I don't think you were done.
No, I wasn't. Sunshine has also been. You'll go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know.
Me up again. Right
I know.
there.
God dang, you're just taking too long. Tell me, whatever. In our jams, what does she do in our jams? How does she participate in our jams? Because that's when I first met her, is during our jams, right?
And comes over for them and has a great time.
The sunshine aspect of it all, yes.
And
because that's what I'm telling people. Jam, even if you just go there and just soak it all up and appreciate the music, it adds so much to a jam. I'm telling you right now. Please go to the jams with your friends and have a blast.
Even if you can only play 2 chords, you will find a way to contribute. You will find a way to contribute.
I believe it's true.
I'm proof positive of that.
Whatever. We're talking. All right, let me tell you what I know about this man.
Yes, okay, that's another segment. We got 4 minutes right here.
Oh, right here. Let me tell you a story, people.
Right here.
So let me see. The first time I ever met HarpJoe, because he was playing the harp that night, was over at Check Joe's house. Mm-hmm. It was a massive jam. Check Joe knows how to draw a crowd, man. Yeah. And so we must have had 12 people there that night, and everyone was a musician and everyone could play. It was a phenomenal jam. And HarpJoe was there, and we did. I can't remember the specific song. Let's say it's Hotel California, because I know he can crush that every single fucking time. Yeah. We played that, and it was the first time I've ever heard that song with the harp, and he just blew me away, man. Just so much emotion and just crushed it. So that was the first time I've ever played with HarpJoe. But I gotta say, I haven't played with him much because I've been jamming with MoJoe here for 2.5 years, and I think I've only jammed with HarpJoe 3, and tonight's probably the 4th time. Yeah. But we
haven't jammed tonight.
I really feel like I know him though, because those jams that he shows up at are epic, epic every time. You add so much.
He doesn't need to rehearse. He's one of those rare musicians that doesn't need to rehearse.
Yeah,
you go ahead and start your acoustic and your keyboards and your banjo.
I'm going to
go ahead and start it.
I'm going to put it out there. Best harmonica player I've ever had the pleasure of hearing.
I totally agree. Yeah. DoJoe, what do you say?
Absolutely agree.
Oh, stop. What about John Popper? You never heard him before?
I love him, but I've never. He's never in person. There's something about music, live music. That's another reason why the jams are so fun. It's live music and the connectedness. It's just amazing stuff.
And I am only as good as the personnel that surround me.
It helps. It helps absolutely, man.
And so when they're doing their thing and they're spot on.
But you know what makes the greats great is that they raise others to their up a level. Like Gretzky raised everyone around him up a level. There was this one guy in his line, he hadn't had that many goals that year, and I forget who was talking to him, and Gretzky says, "I'll get him a couple tonight." And I'll be damned if he didn't. I mean, we're talking greatness. And you raise us to another level. And that's why the jams you show up for are so epically awesome.
No, that would be the company I'm playing with, too. That has a lot to do with that.
Let me tell you what I know about DoJoe. Another person who I regret to inform you that I've only jammed with a handful of times, even though I've been jamming with MoJoe 2.5 years. And DoJoe, he can play the best Norwegian wood I've ever heard on the guitar.
Yes, he can.
He plays it so well, he inspired my wife, who's taking vocal lessons to work on it, which I pay for. I'm just, whatever. I'm kidding. I'm trying to make a joke and it didn't work. Marker, we'll edit. We'll edit that right out. We'll just edit that right out. Let's go back to DoJoe here, and his Norwegian wood inspired my wife to work on it at her vocal lessons, and she's come a long way, and she takes lessons with another friend of ours, and it's so fun to have them. And what cracked me up about this story is one night we recorded DoJoe playing this song specifically so they could use it to practice with. And one day I remember, I think my wife actually said this to you. She says, just the other night at Check Joe's house, you were there, and she said to you, we try singing to your version of Norwegian Wood, and it always screws us up.
I remember that. I think I remember that.
Yeah. There's no time signature.
And that does make a difference. But I was going to say it has no reflection on you. Their timing.
Except for the time signature.
They're still working on their timing. Trust me. I've played enough.
My playing isn't going to help their timing.
No. Well, I think personally, I'm going to say this right on the air.
Getting T-boned.
Personally, I think part of their problem is both of those girls are perfectionists, and they have a little trouble following. Like when I take dance lessons with my wife, she always wants to lead.
All right.
These are smart, intelligent, powerful women. They're nothing to trifle with, and so I think that's part of the problem. They have a little bit of a problem following, and sometimes when you're jam, someone has to drive it, and you have to do a little following. And I think they can't follow your lead. I think I could follow it just fine. If you busted out that recording and I had my guitar, I bet you I could follow it perfectly.
Yeah.
But it's not hard to follow.
I'm a master jacker hammer. What did I say?
So,
why did you take your headphones off? Are we checking out?
I'm going to keep talking,
dude.
But I want to offer my
ears that's what you're doing. Because I'm going to say we're 22 minutes in. We can wrap it up right here, have a little chill session, and come back for one more.
Well, good call. It's a good wrap.
I think so.
This would be a good wrap.
So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And I hope you laughed. I hope you enjoyed it. We're here for your entertainment.
Hope you comment.
Yeah.
You bring it at us, friendly or friendly.
See you next time.